Hello and welcome everyone to the Friday, December 5th edition of the Contributor Comms team meeting. As a reminder, this meeting operates under a code of conduct which essentially says to be respectful of your fellow speakers and attendees and generally be excellent to each other. Here at the beginning of the call, we like to offer an opportunity for anyone on the call to introduce themselves if you'd like to, totally optional. I like to use it as an excuse to explain what the meeting is, so I will do that now. Hello, everyone. I'm Caslin Fields, and I am one of the co-leads of the Contributor Communications subproject, which is what this meeting is about. Our purpose as a group is to make sure that folks within the contributor community and open source Kubernetes know about things going on that they really ought to know about, and also to some extent to make sure that folks outside of the contributor community know about the awesome work that contributors are doing. And during this meeting today, we'll go over various projects and things going on that relate to that work. Would anyone else like to introduce themselves? Totally optional.
Sure. Hey, y'all, I'm Chris Short. I'm the other co-lead of this project. I run the OSPO at a startup called CIQ. We're the primary backers of Rocky Linux. And I know where bodies are buried in ContribEx.
That he does. Anyone else want to introduce yourself?
I can introduce myself. I'm Fred. Yes, and I've been working in this group for a couple of years now, mainly on the blogging side and other tasks.
Thank you very much. Always good to have you. Anyone else?
Hey everyone, I am Arnab. I am new to contributing, and I'm someone who is sitting here trying to learn what the group is talking about and hoping to contribute to Kubernetes meaningfully someday. Thank you.
Welcome. We're excited to have you. Always wonderful to have new folks on. Anyone else want to introduce yourselves? Totally optional.
Hey everyone, I am Arpit. I am part of this group for quite a time now, and I am joining this. Meeting after like a couple of weeks. So hey everyone.
Hey.
Welcome. Good to have you back.
Yep.
Anyone else want to introduce yourselves? Alrighty then. Another housekeeping item. If you haven't picked up on it so far, this is a very casual call. So if you miss the opportunity to introduce yourself and you want to later, or you have any questions at all along the way, please ask. We are more than happy to explain things. And I would ask for a volunteer note taker, but I really appreciate that Christopher has already volunteered. Thank you so much. But to explain for anyone who's new, the role of the note taker is to follow along with the discussion and take notes as best they can. It's nice to have someone dedicated to trying to do that. So thank you very much, Christopher. I really appreciate it.
Nice. Thanks.
Big time.
All right. And with that, I think that's it for housekeeping items. So let's dive into things. Typically, we start with messages of the week, talking about what's going on in the community. I also have a couple of new items to talk about. I guess I'll ask first. Any messages of the week that come to mind that folks want to make sure we get down while you're thinking about it? It's the end of the year.
Off the top of my head.
The release is supposed to be on December 17th. So we've got a little less than 2 weeks.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So we don't own communications for the release. The release team has its own embedded communications team that we would like to work better with than we do.
Well,
but there may be things for us to help with. Yeah. Yeah, we try. We mention it, but has not turned into a process yet.
The new I mean, the new updates that were added during the last release about the workflow for the team should come into play in the next release. So there are additional instructions in the rule books about coming to the comms channel, introducing to people, etc. Not the cure, but certainly something that will provide some additional cooperation and visibility between the release lead specifically and with the release lead, the comms lead of the release team.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for doing that, Frederico.
Very awesome. Thank you.
And Arpit, I think you wanted to say something too.
Yep. So the stage is going to end.
You roboted a little
You're
bit.
roboting. Sorry. It's all good. Don't worry.
Audible.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm saying that CNCF Cyber Week sale is going to end, I guess, in 4 days. If we want to.
Oh.
Connect that.
Yeah, there's a certification sale, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, certification sale from the CNCF.
The Cyber Week, you mean?
Yeah. Cyber
Yeah.
Week sale.
Yeah. Might be worth reposting one of the posts from the CNCF about that. I saw that the CNCF posted something about submitting. Ooh, that's another thing that we should talk about. Submitting to Maintainer Summit and Maintainer Track for KubeCon EU. So I reposted that from the CNCF from our Kate's contributors account on X.
The Maintainer Summit CFP is still on because KubeCon EU CFP deadline has been passed, right?
Yes, the regular CFP deadline is done, but the maintainer track is open. Yeah. Let me check when that closes real quick.
Yeah, could you help me with the
Yeah.
the one you said?
Yep.
Yeah. Will do. Let me grab. All right, Maintainer Summit. Yes, Maintainer Summit CFP is open, so here's that. Closes December 14th. You can rework that into a prettier link if you want to. And I'll grab the other one, because there's two things that both start with maintainer, and it's not confusing at all.
Yes.
Yeah. And then maintainer track CFP closes. Let me see. Yes, also December 14th. We should probably send out a message to the community about that, especially with the KubeCon EU CFP already being done before KubeCon NA. The timeline on this one has been a little bit rough for folks to keep track of. Yeah, both of these are KubeCon EU 2026, so you could just make that like a top level heading and put those 200 or something. Yeah, people have had trouble keeping track, so it might be good for us to put out some messaging about this.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like, what is the difference between Maintainer Summit CFP and Maintainer Track CFP?
So Maintainer Summit is a day 0 or now day -1 event. So it's a full day of maintainers, not just of Kubernetes, but also of other CNCF projects getting together to talk with each other about running open source projects and collaborate on that and everything. And then Maintainer Track is a track of KubeCon. So during the 3 days of KubeCon, there are talks going on, and it is one of the tracks of talks that happen during those 3 days, where maintainers of various CNCF projects can talk about the work that they're doing in those projects during the conference itself. And Maintainer Summit is limited in attendance only to other maintainers, whereas the Maintainer Track is targeted at anyone attending KubeCon.
Right. We should probably help the other projects create awards You know, just from at least from a ContribEx side of thing, I feel like there was very few submissions from the other CNCF projects this time.
Indeed.
So, like,
Little.
how it is different from normal KubeCon deadline? Like,
So only
It
maintainers can
always
submit to the
changes.
maintainer track.
okay,
So it's run separately because it's a different group of people who can submit to it.
but
It's usually after the regular KubeCon CFP. And you have to be a maintainer in a CNCF project to do that, and co-chairs of SIGs in open source Kubernetes are considered maintainers. So only chairs and tech leads can submit to maintainer track. You can submit with someone, but you have to have a chair or tech lead on it. Yeah. And the awards point is a good one at the Maintainer Summit. So Maintainer Summit, we used to have something called Kubernetes Contributor Summit, where
There's some
just
history.
Kubernetes
Yeah.
contributors would get together, and we would do contributor awards where the SIG chairs would nominate folks who have been doing really excellent work in their SIGs to give them awards and really recognize what they're doing. And that with Maintainer Summit is now opened up to other CNCF projects, but it was something that kind of grew natively out of Kubernetes. So people know about it, but people in other CNCF projects don't know about that opportunity. So it's a bit out of our regular scope because we normally focus on Kubernetes contributors.
Kubernetes. Yeah.
So communicating with the other CNCF projects isn't really part of our charter, but it would be nice of us to try to help them.
Yeah.
But
Spread
in
the love.
KubeCon, you had like a coffee chat or something?
The Maintainer Summit thing?
No. Within this SIG, you guys had a coffee chat or you guys gathered at the KubeCon? Last KubeCon?
We usually don't do a SIG meeting. The way that we've done it in the past is we have sometimes had a kind of working session on the contributor site because we've had so many problems with maintainability of it. But aside from that, we wouldn't typically have a SIG ContribEx SIG meeting, which some SIGs do at
I
KubeCons,
noticed.
but
But you guys are not interested in using those events for gathering?
Not usually, because normally
we do.
are actively engaged in the event. So
exactly. We're usually running a lot of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and we know all of the people from our SIG that are there. So it's like there's no need for us to really have a meeting. We're all running around running things for everyone else.
It's chaos. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not that we don't want to, and we do get together and kind of just chat, but whenever everyone has time.
We do have the SIG meet and greet as well, which we run, or which volunteers run normally from ContribEx. And that's to bring new people in. Otherwise, folks talk as they come across each other or head to the project pavilion at KubeCon and talk there. It's casual, just like this call.
Gotcha. Oh, the SIG had a booth at Project Pavilion?
No. The contributor hour takeover thing didn't quite work out as we wanted to. But it is what it is.
Maybe that will be something to look for at next KubeCon, right?
Maybe.
There's a lot of discussion and background on this.
Really?
So much. So much. Well, the project's 11 years old, so there's a lot of history just in the project itself, but specifically around events.
But on the booth thing specifically, we spent a lot of time last year talking about whether Kubernetes should have a booth in the project pavilion. So SIGs always have the opportunity to have a booth at the project pavilion. The issue then is that you have to staff it. So you have to have enough people there to be able to have someone there all the time when the booth is there, which you don't have to do all day, every day for the whole conference. But a lot of people
No.
don't understand that. You can just do part, but then you still have to have someone there whenever that's on. And if everyone in your group who is going to be there also has responsibilities for their company because they're going on their company's behalf, then it's like impossible to do the scheduling.
Yeah, it's tough. Very tough.
So we talked about doing like a Kubernetes wide one, but depending on where you are in Kubernetes, you have a very different view of what the project does and what you can talk with people about. So it's nice to like advertise that or have everyone in one place where you can talk about everything, which is what we do at the meet and greet. But attendees don't know what the meet and greet is and don't attend it. And so we tried to do this project pavilion takeover where we just had a lot of Kubernetes people in the project pavilion during the hour before the cube crawl. But there wasn't signage around about that, I don't think. And like people didn't know that it was happening. So yeah.
Yeah, I missed that event.
Shocked.
We did do a panel, which we'll do again in that time slot, I think.
Yeah. Anyway, we're already almost at the halfway point.
Yeah, and if you didn't hear, Kevlin needs to drop at 12:30, so I'll pick it up or 11:30, whatever time it is in your place, bottom of the hour, top of the hour in India.
Yeah, and I had a couple of new items that I wanted to discuss. So I can go a little bit over. I just need to have some time to prepare for my next meeting. But there's two things I wanted to bring up. One is someone pinged me about becoming a blog reviewer. They were someone that has been involved with our group in the past and is a strong contributor, and they've been out for a little bit and wanted to find a new way to do something. And they were like, this blog reviewer thing seems like it really needs help. And I was like, yes, please. And we talked a little bit about the challenges that folks have had with learning to become blog reviewers. We've had a couple of folks from our group here reach out to SIG Docs about becoming blog reviewers, and it seems like they found the guidance a little bit confusing. And I think it's a little intimidating for folks because it's a combination of technical skills and just like English reviewing skills, all of which can be hard for folks in all sorts of ways. So I thought of an idea which I thought would be really cool for us to implement, which would be a blog reviewer mentoring cohort that we do in collaboration with SIG Docs. I know I don't have time to run something like that. I don't think that any of us do, which is part of the problem of this whole thing. So I think if we worked together to have kind of rotating leads where we're meeting with the folks who want to become SIG Docs blog reviewers and like reviewing their work and helping them grow and all of that kind of stuff. And then maybe incorporate some kind of like peer mentoring component to it where we have the folks who are trying to become blog reviewers, kind of review each other's work and become more comfortable with working together. I think that would be really good for us to implement if we could. Arpit.
So like what we can do is in LWKD also we need more reviewers, right? So we can also like ping them if they are interested in participating in this cohort.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to muddy the waters on it too much, but I do think there's enough skill overlap there that would probably be helpful.
Agreed.
Yeah. Cool. Any other questions, comments about this idea?
This is our weekly, monthly sessions. What do you see this coming up?
We'll need to talk with SIG Docs about that.
Yeah, they got to be
December
on board
5th. It's December 5th, and I'm about to be out for 2 weeks, and I'm in the middle of crunch time at work, and I cannot think about that right now.
Exactly. It's a lot. But yeah, it's a great idea. I think we should do it.
Yeah. Any other questions, comments right now? We can always come back to it. I want to talk about the other thing I have in here, website shenanigans and usefulness. So we have someone new in the group, Christopher, who is interested in the contributor website, which is kates.dev. I should specify that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the contributor website, let's talk a little bit about what it is and what we want to do with it. So we have kubernetes.io, which is the primary website for the project. It has all of the documentation for Kubernetes as an open source project. It has its own blog. It has lots and lots of stuff, contributor guide, all sorts of stuff. Kubernetes.dev or kates.dev is a site specifically targeted at contributors. So it doesn't have like the project documentation. It has information about the Kubernetes contributor summits that we've run in the past. It has a list of awardees for our Kubernetes contributor awards. It has a calendar of all of the contributor meetings. It has its own blog, which is meant to be targeted at contributors rather than the blog on kubernetes.io, which is targeted at the general public. It's also probably not very strongly used. I suspect that the calendar page is probably the most used component of it. There's a few discussions that we've had recently about its functionality and usefulness, which I will review. One is blogging. With the issue with blog reviewers on kubernetes.io, we've discussed that it doesn't really make sense for us to have another blog on kates.dev, which is also understaffed on reviewers. They do have different audiences, so we do kind of lose something if we merge the two, which is something that we've discussed. There was a project, for example, proposed this year by one of our contributors to this group who wanted to run a series of blogs where they interview contributors about their experience becoming contributors. That's not really good content for kubernetes.io because we don't expect the general public and end users of Kubernetes to be interested in that. We like to publish like SIG spotlights. That was the main project that we have done on kubernetes.io's blog, to inform the general public about what special interest groups do and what opportunities there are to contribute. But we don't typically expect readers of that blog to be as interested in specific contributor stories. We think of that more as like a kubernetes.dev thing. Maybe we're wrong about that. Anyway, so thinking about the different audiences, there is something that could be lost in merging the two. But we have the issue of not having enough blog reviewers, and no one reads the kates.dev blog anyway, probably. So we should really try and get some stats on it. So that's one thing that we've discussed with regard to functionality and usefulness of the site. Another one is the .io issue. To review, .io is...
No, let's not get into that right now.
Yeah.
I'm just going to review it
for like another 5 years.
Yes, there are many years before anything will happen with it, but it's a discussion in the community that I think it's important if we want to talk about what we want to do with kates.dev. So Kubernetes.io uses the .io domain name. Any domain name that is 2 letters is reserved as a country code. So the country that is associated with .io doesn't exist anymore. That happened like earlier this year. Maybe it was last year. I don't know.
I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, the entity that manages domains could take away .io basically at any time. They do have to give us like a couple years notice, I think, or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But at any time, that entity could just be like, hey, .io domains are going to go away. So the community has discussed the possibility of merging kates.dev and kubernetes.io to avoid that risk. But that would be a huge issue because like everybody knows how to go to kubernetes.io. And if that were to stop working, it would be a whole thing far bigger than the Kubernetes project. But worth mentioning that has been discussed. And then another thing that I want to mention with kates.dev is that it contains our new contributor orientation content, or new contributor, not new contributor orientation. That's what we run now. The new contributor workshop content, which is something that we used to run at KubeCons. Running workshops is a bear. It's so difficult to do. There's always issues with conference internet and all sorts of things. And the community wasn't seeing strong conversion of people who attended the new contributor workshop into contributors. So it was this huge investment that the community was making that didn't really seem to be paying off. So during the pandemic, when we couldn't do those anyway, we turned that content into online content that probably no one uses or knows exists, but it is on kades.dev. So that's the overview of kades.dev, and we're right at the bottom of the hour. But comments, questions?
Yeah, so I'm very interested in the last portion. There's anything you guys would like to do different?
You can go to kades.dev/course to see it. You can take a look at it and let us know what you think.
Gotcha. To be honest, I didn't know about this at all.
Shocked.
Yeah, this is our shocked face.
No one knows it exists. We are the comms team. We are here to try to communicate these things to people, and we haven't done it. So we know you don't know. There was like a year and a half where every meeting we were like, is the course up yet? Is the course up yet? We need to promote it when it's up.
Yeah.
And then once it was finally up, it like
when was
at an
this
awkward time.
Published?
I don't know.
Oh God, like 3 years ago. No, it was San Diego when we hit the problem and just decided we need to stop doing this.
Well, yeah, but then there was the pandemic. It didn't happen until
it took a while, right? Like a few months.
Yeah. It took a longer time than that. Yeah,
year or two.
Yeah.
I think those Zoom calls are. I like that idea more than a course.
That's why we did it.
Yeah, I think perfectly. Like, I don't know, like.
Ain't nobody got time
having, for example, the sessions from those calls are more up to date, right, than that course right now, right?
Yeah, no one's touched that in at least like a year, probably 2 or 3 years.
Probably 2 or 3, yeah.
And no one's going to.
Nope.
Because no one knows that content well enough to update it, and it's a ton of content. No one has the time to update that.
But the slides are always, you always need to update it for making the call, right? So maybe,
which is why we run the monthly meeting now.
Maybe at least like having the links to that calendar, when's the new, if you were able to see like when's a new contributor meeting, would be an idea.
Yeah.
Instead of having static content that gets outdated really quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The question is, do we want to have both? No one knows that this exists anyway.
Oh, no. I think yours, the idea from the group, like running those meetings are way better. We could stay with that.
There is also a page on somewhere in kades.dev on the new contributor orientation.
If you could...
Let me find that. There it is. It is right here. Kades.dev/orientation /doc/orientation.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then yeah. So that is also on the contributor site, and also no one finds it through that because no one actually looks at the contributor site. Do we have any stats on how many folks are doing the new contributor course? Probably not.
No.
What I'd be more interested in would be stats on how many people actually visit the kades.dev site at all and what parts of it they visit. I think we were going to try and look into if anyone had that data. We haven't found it.
Yeah, we need Google, whatever they're called. It used to be called
Analytics.
Webmaster Tools. Well, analytics would be great.
Sorry, for analyzing what?
If people actually visit kades.dev. Yeah. So we need to find out if anyone has metrics on Kates.dev because so Kates.dev existed and was poorly maintained by people, I guess, who have probably mostly left the project. And so it kind of fell to us with no kind of background on what had been done with it in the past. So we don't know if there are analytics for it anywhere in any kind of tool.
No, there's no code assigned, or no UA code assigned for analytics. It's all zeros. What we need is there. There's just no analytics account to tie it to, it looks like.
Okay. So yeah, we would need to set up analytics on the site in order to get any idea about how much it's being used, which is really something that we should try to do.
And yeah, we really should. Google Webmaster Tools is another one we should probably do.
We have those tools available?
No.
Oh.
Welcome to a multi-month project.
Yes. Welcome to an all-volunteer community.
I had an idea, but no, I forgot.
Is our Patand a new hand or an old hand?
New.
Hand. So
old
basically,
hand?
New one. I want to ask one thing. I am just exploring the website. So I got to know that we have a course on kates.dev/course, and then there is one more, which is new contributor course. Like, are these two different, or like these are the same courses with two different names?
Is there a separate page on kates.dev?
Yes, kates.dev/doc/onboarding.
So the kates.dev/course. Oh, kates.dev/course takes you to doc/onboarding.
Oh.
So it's the same page.
Yes. It's an alias.
Yeah, it's just an easier way to type it in.
Are we measuring like the conversions of the people that are joining these calls versus how maintainers we are having each year? So that could be interesting, like measuring those conversions, right?
Well, we don't own the Zoom account. Well, I guess we do own the Zoom account for us, but as far as the hierarchical Kubernetes Zoom community stuff, that's just a bridge too far.
It would be interesting.
Yes,
to do
it would be
that.
very interesting. But
I don't know if even with access to the Zoom account, which is very restricted, if we could get information on how many people and who join. Well, how many people and who join the calls. It would basically be the job of the leads of that call to track this kind of thing.
Well, unless Zoom exposes like how many people join your call, right? Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know if Zoom exposes that, and if it does.
If it did, how would we associate it to GitHub usernames, Slack usernames, that kind of thing?
Ooh.
Well, if it did, how would we even get it to the people who ran the call? Like, I don't always run this call.
Yeah, I know.
But
that's the problem.
I would be the one to know about it. But I have access to Zoom, but most people who run meetings don't necessarily have access to Zoom because it's highly restricted.
Yeah, if you're measuring conversions, like will be just in plain numbers. Not. There's no way you can relate that data effectively.
Yeah. Not without a lot of work. That no one has time
months.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to do that for the awards page, and I was like Googling, checking them LinkedIn, in Slack. It took me a while because some names were hard to find. Sorry to cut you off, Arpin.
No problem. Also, I think that it will be very hard to find unique users because sometimes users join from different accounts, or let's say not every time user joins by logging into Zoom. They just join without logging in. So it will be very difficult to know. Like if unless and someone is regularly contributing and we like we get to know them after like couple of calls. It is very difficult to identify who joined and whether that person is let's say unique or not.
This brings up another important point that's happening in the community. There's a discussion going on about moving from Zoom to the meeting tool that the CNCF uses. The biggest issue with that is that the tool that the CNCF uses requires you to be logged in order to join the meeting, which is intentionally something that we have avoided in the Kubernetes community because we want it to be open to everybody. If you want to just hop in and start learning about contribution, we want you to do that. We don't want you to have to create an account and feel like you're signing up for something to just hop into the community and see if it works for you.
Like is it a like custom tool or like a tool which is public, like Google Meet or something like that?
No, it's custom. Pretty custom. Yeah.
Could you guys share what's the name and what's this tool about?
There's a thread in the Slack, which I can't bring up because I don't have the Slack client on my machine. But there's a thread in the SIG ContribEx Slack about it.
Okay.
Bevy, I think the name was Bevy.
Bevy, that sounds right.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, it's not Bevy. It might be.
Right?
But they refer to it as the Project Control Center.
Oh, interesting. I think in the thread they talk about Bevy.
Probably.
So it might be like a branded, I don't know. Anyway, I think it's underneath Bevy.
Huh? The thread is in ContribEx or ContribEx comms?
ContribEx.
ContribEx.
Community. So that will be for running the meetups, right?
Meetings, yes. And we're still working through the publishing the YouTube pipeline. There's a lot there. I'll just say that for now.
Yeah, we also have a pipeline of automation that automatically publishes our meetings to our YouTube channel. So if we were to change meeting running tools, then we have to change all of that automation as well, which Chris is intimately familiar with.
Yeah, it's all in Zapier, and thankfully Chad has worked it out. Chad and Nigel over the years have worked it out so it just works. We really don't want to go upset the apple cart.
In Zapier, those are automations, right?
Yeah.
I was surprised to see the thread on it in SIG ContribEx. We've discussed it among the ContribEx leads before and aired our issues with the idea. There are also benefits, so we're kind of in a stage of, I thought we were kind of in a stage of weighing the pros and cons, but there may have been developments there that I didn't hear.
I think it's just a matter of, like, yes, we see the pros. Yes, the cons are basically we have to redo some automation work because PCC
and it's harder
drops.
it's harder for new people to join.
Right. So PCC drops any video recordings from meetings directly into YouTube, and then we have to manually publish them, manually move them to a playlist, and that's just not optimal. So we got to figure that out before we can adopt it.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be a Zoom admin, but I'm still not. So there's that.
Also, like when you talk about like users need to log into this new meeting app. So I am assuming it will be like the Linux Foundation ID, which we have.
Yes.
I have no idea.
I think so.
Yes.
I think so.
The LFX membership ID thing. Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
I have no idea.
But newcomers,
something to be aware of.
Most probably they don't have that.
Exactly. Yeah, they'd have to create an account, which is a barrier that just means like if you've ever just popped onto this call because somebody said, "Hey, this call is really cool and it's a good way to get started in the contributor community." Now, when you go to do that, you also have to create an account, and that will throw some people off.
That's the only thing I don't like from Bevy. It's just the same thing.
Yeah. But that problem you were just talking about of being able to track who was in the call, guess what that solves?
Maybe it has analytics.
Yeah.
That's a
Yes.
that's a bonus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Pros and cons.
Right. We get something, but is it worth it? And can we make it work?
At this point, we have 15 minutes left, so we should probably go to the board if we have to do board.
Yeah. You need to drop, don't you?
I really should.
I can do it.
So, all right. I will hand it over to Chris now, and if Federico is still on, you all can go over the board.
I am.
Let me know if there's anything important that I need to know about. Thank you so much. Thanks for joining, everyone. See y'all on Slack and next week.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, let me pull up the board here, get it shared. All right. Federico, you said you made some tweaks here?
I did. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Yes. So the SIG architecture spotlight on API governance was something that was pending. It's now being reviewed by Jordan and should be good to go next week, at least for opening the PR. So this is like the 6th installment of the SIG architecture series. This one is even a bit longer. It's on HackMD right now, but I want to give Jordan the opportunity to validate it first, because this was like a video interview, so there was quite a bit of adjustments needed. So just to be sure that I didn't convert it in a way that is not exactly what was intended. I don't think that's the case. So that's one. So completely new. It's there. That's like a sort of dependency for the SIG architecture article, because that's the capstone that will be made after this last one is done. There's another one there, which is so that's the one in preliminary review. Not yet, but I'll add it later. This is the spotlight article, the final one. That's why I've linked it there, just to avoid it getting stalled.
Yeah. Thank you.
There's another one. Let me see if I can. Actually, I have it here as well. Let me give me a second. It's easy for me. Actually, no, it's fine. I have just lots of terminals excessively large. SIG release team set project spotlight. So we had one around 2 years ago with Veronica at the time. The thing is, there have been substantial changes to the Kubernetes release process since then. Teams have disappeared, have been merged. Most noticeable, the emeritus advisor role, which doesn't exist any longer. Different phases now, changes in the freezes, etc. So I think it would be very good for everyone to have an update on what exactly the teams the project does, but by doing that interview, add some updated information for developers, mainly on how does the release process work in a friendly way. So what has changed, etc. I've talked with Kat Cosgrove about this. She was very enthusiastic and said that this is actually something that they think is needed because of the volume of changes and the impact of those changes in the last years. So I am currently drafting some initial content, and I will continue with that. So it's in early stages, but it's there.
Sweet.
And finally, there's a SIG testing draft there, not an issue yet. Why? Because this is an interesting part of the discussion linked with the reviews, etc. before, because the reality is that it might be true that we don't have reviewers, but we get
suggestions and notifications from people from SIG Docs and others in order to actually enable the content to get out. This is one such example. There was an interview with someone, I could remember the name at the moment, but about Pro, about SIG testing. Someone just, I think it was Tim that suggested maybe we can do something about this. And then I think it was Priyanka that pinged us in comms. And I said, yes, why not? Let's do it. It's fine. So I've had a conversation with the author and we've essentially decided I will what he wants to actually convey, because there are some concerns he has in terms of we don't want to open the doors to contributors yet because we're not ready, etc. But I just said that the message is whatever you want, because this is like an interview, a discussion. So I'm drafting some initial questions, and when it's done, it's done. And I think that currently, honestly, for me, I will just continue either alone or all of this are open for participation for anyone that wants to lend a hand as well. I actually, since one of them is blocked, the SIGOS one does not currently reply, maybe I will pick up the I think it was Annie at the time that was doing that, and just in one of those at least, just to allow her to have some additional exposure. But anyway, what I was saying is that if we do not produce any content, then it's sort of there's no problem, because we're not actually pushing anything down the pipeline. So that's it. I guess that if we have content, and we have content, we will eventually have to decide on something. Maybe we can reduce the level of reviews that some of the content that we produce needs. Maybe we'll just push it to Kates.dev and have a more streamlined process for just Kates.dev content. Saying is that only with issues that need to be published from our side will this actually become something that we need to solve. Just I feel that closing the faucet here, it's like it's a disservice to the content that we might produce. Might as well do it, and then it might take a while. Maybe it will be adjusted. Maybe we can volunteer for SIGDocs, but at least we will have content to push. So that's it, and that's sorry for the additional rant at the end, but this is tied with this, right? We have content, we have things that are interesting. The Kates.dev visibility versus Kates.io, I think it's also largely a reflection or a product of whatever we end up sharing and of the reach of our social media. I'm not sure if there are like millions of people that are glued to the Kubernetes.io/blog site. I imagine that they much more than the Kates.dev, but I also imagine that it's mostly through sharing of the links that people get there. And not through RSS feeds or something like that. So I will have for this. I will also have a conversation following the updated guidelines on which one of those do we actually feel should be published on Kates.io as well. And maybe by having these discussions, we will align with whatever discussions you're also having around the adding people to SIGDocs, etc.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Federico, for the update. As always, folks, if there's something on this board that you feel passionate about and want to write about, or don't feel passionate about and just want to get smarter about it, feel free to pick it up, talk to the SIG or work group or whatever leads, and there's a blogging guidelines in the comms repo in Kate's community.
Chris, I'm gonna be working with the 523. I noticed that with the current version of Hugo that we have, the LinkedIn icon adds perfectly. So I'm gonna be after this call, I'm gonna be opening the MR for with the
Feel free to
with the
ping me in it.
current Hugo version. I
Yeah,
opened a
yeah.
PR with the upgrade, and I also added LinkedIn. That was a mistake by myself. I'm gonna fix that also. But I'm gonna do a small MR with that in the LinkedIn page. I think it's a quick one.
Yes. Small chunks are preferred, but if it is a
Exactly.
big chunk, that's fine too.
Yeah, that was my mistake.
No, you're good, man. That's all right.
Mhm.
Anything else? Anything else on the agenda? What's on the board? I think we're good here. Yeah? What do you think, folks? Cool. All right. Thank y'all for joining. Appreciate your time and efforts here, especially you, Federico. So, have a great weekend. We're going to say goodbye to the folks on YouTube. If I can find the button. Stop that. Stop that.